folks. How is everybody doing? We are backstage with Chris. I am Chris cooking Nashville. If you are brand new here, I've lost about 130 pounds on a proper human diet. My wife, Ash, the incredible country artist Ash Taylor, go to ashtaylor.com for all of her info. She's lost about 100 pounds on a proper human diet, and now we end up creating recipes, low carb, keto, carnivore, having talks like this. We do all this kind of stuff in between being full-time professional musicians as well, and we try to help as many people as we can and encourage as many of you on your journey to better health, whatever that looks like. Proper Human Diet Spectrum has a whole bunch of different options on it, and we're just trying to open up as many of those for as many people as possible to help as many folks as we can get our hands on. So we're going to say hello to a few people, let you guys know what we're talking about tonight. This is New Year, same you, but better, because we are, can you believe, 2/3 of the way through the first month of 2026. That is crazy that January is already 2/3 over, and we are into this new year thing. But I think there's some big problems with the way that a lot of online people sort of represent this whole, new year, new you. There's some issues. We're going to talk about those. So let's say to some folks in the chat, if you are brand new here, by the way, please let us know you are watching. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe, share, all of those fun things while you are here, because we love you guys, and we would like to know that you're here. So drop it in the chat, say hello. If you have questions, of course, always put them in the chat, especially if they're culinary questions. That is my area of expertise. Let's see who is here. And we have Richard Williams. Good evening, neighbors from Copper Hill. Good to see you, neighbor. Hope you're doing well tonight, my friend. There's Sherry Nevada Pup saying, hello, CCN fam. Good to see you. There's Bryce, a band member. If you guys don't know what the band is, you can go to this QR code right here. You can scan this and you can come join our private community, which is there for support. I also do weekly recipe uploads that are exclusive to band members. We do private Q&As, private cooking lives, a whole bunch of resources, and they're the first ones to hear about anything Chris Cooking Nashville, including things like the upcoming cookbook, which they'll be getting some sneak peeks of the photo shoot we just did for the cover. It's going to be a really good time. So the band is fantastic. Bryce is one of our members. So come over there and join Bryce and a whole bunch of other people by using whatever wireless device it is you like. Scan that and click on the link. Come over and join us in the band. We would love to have you. Dennis is here. Hi from Newport. Good to see you, friend. Albert is here. Hello from Northern California. Well, good to see you, my friend. Thank you for watching. Lewis Stone is here. Howdy, y'all. Lewis is doing it wrong, but getting it right. Good to see you, brother. Glad you're here. Marion is here. Hello from North Carolina, waiting for the snow to arrive. I heard we might get some snow here in Nashville as well, so stay warm. And there is Teresa Mitchell, a brand new member. Shalom and blessings from Canada. Good to see you, Teresa. Glad you are here. Albert says, thank you, Chris, for all you do. I appreciate you. I appreciate you, my friend, because if you guys were not here and if you were not encouraging me to keep doing this and telling me you enjoy this, I wouldn't have any reason to keep doing it. So it is a pleasure and an honor, and I'm just very, very much appreciative of the fact that you guys are here and you support what we do, and you have been so good to me and so good to Ash, and we just love being able to share everything we've got to share. Stevie Wood is here. Hello, Stevie. Good to see you. Brian is here. Hey, Chris and everyone. Good to see you, Brian. Hope you're doing well tonight, brother. Lisa M is here. Says, I really can't wait for the cookbook. So excited. I am too, Lisa. It is going to be such a cool thing to have the cookbook out. It has been so much work. We are getting so close to having the final full draft of the manuscript turned in. I have a couple of more chapters of things to finish up and then submit. And then there's a couple little things at the end of the book that I need to put together as well. But it is going to be really cool. The publisher seems very happy, and then we'll be starting to work on edits and design and where is it going to be sold and what are I mean, there's so many other steps, but we are getting there. We are getting things done, and it's going to be a good time. And if you guys did not know, I took all of the recipe photos that are in the book, like the pictures of the actual recipes that I cooked them, and I took the pictures. And I took about 17,000 photos to get pictures of the 130 recipes that are going to be in here, and make sure I had really good pictures, hopefully, for all of them. So 17,000 photos. That's just taking pictures. That's not including cooking, cleaning, writing, everything else that has to go into it. That's just the pictures I took. So it is quite the project, but we're having a good time. My parents are here, mom and dad. Mama and Papa Nashville in the house. Everybody say hello to them in the chat. They love it when you guys do that. They're up in Indiana watching tonight. Good to see you guys. And they just had keto chicken and sausage étouffée. I'm sure that was just terrible. That sounds fantastic. And my parents taught me to cook back before I knew how to cook, so I know that was good food. Denise Coleman is here, excited for the cookbook. Thank you, Denise. I am as well. I can't wait to share with you guys. And my dad says, a keto chicken and sausage étouffée on your carnivore rice. Yes, I have a carnivore rice video. I actually have a couple of versions that are out there now. You guys go check that out. It is fantastic. So things like this keto chicken and sausage étouffée are the types of recipes that, it's not my recipe that they're using specifically. This is probably one of my mom's. But these kinds of things are the extra sorts of recipes that I put in the band right here, how to use my rice and maybe make like an étouffée, or you never know what kinds of recipes I'm going to upload in there. Just, you know, fun things that we are eating or that I have eaten, whatever. That's the kind of stuff that I do. So consider going over there and joining. That would be really, really cool. So let's talk about what we're talking about tonight, guys. This whole thing, the New Year, same you, but better vibe, right? This is a really important subject. And I think, unfortunately, we have, because of marketing, we have had so much thrown at us about this whole New Year, New You, and all this kind of thing, that I think it's actually led us as a society down a path of kind of not understanding resetting in a new year, and we've almost turned it into a gimmick. And I think it sometimes can, for some people, do more harm than good. So if you're tired of this whole New Year, New You thing, you are in the right place. You are specifically in the right kitchen, because here you are in the Chris Cooking Nashville kitchen with me. We are all about progress, not perfection here. If you are one of those, I think everyone has to be perfect, and if they're not perfect, they need to be judged, and if they're being judged, they deserve it because they're not perfect, and we're going to beat them up. If you're one of those people, click out of the video, because that's not what we do here, and I don't ever want to do that here. We don't do crash diets. We don't do shame diets. We don't do rage exercise. We don't do burnout. We don't do any of that stuff here. We do real, sustainable change that comes from progress and support. That's what we're all about. So, keeping the soul turned up, turning the amps up, cleaning up the noise, and trying to figure out how we play a rock concert of creating our health. Got to pull in the music puns and the analogies. Thank you for dealing with me on that. So, why is this idea, New Year, New You, New Year, New You, why is it broken? And by the way, if you are on board with me on this and thinking like, yeah, I'm tired of this whole New Year, New You thing because there just doesn't seem to work and it's a bunch of marketing hype, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, let us know you're here in the chat. Tell us what you're feeling, what you think about all of this. And while you're at it, if you don't mind, hit the share button down there and send this to a friend who is a little wrapped up in the New Year, New You thing and feeling the pressure because they're not able to stick to it. We're going to talk about this. Here's why New Year, New You, I think, is a broken concept. You do not need to erase yourself to improve yourself. And New Year, New You, unfortunately, I think misses this whole point. Most resolutions that people make for the whole new year, they fail those because they're just too extreme, And here's the thing, we're 20 days into the new year. By this point, a bunch of people have already broken their New Year's resolutions. They make things too extreme. They don't understand why they're doing these things. They're not really prepared to do these kinds of things properly. They just, oh, we're going to do this, and they set up these extreme ideas, and they try to erase their entire former life and become something completely different that they think will be better for them. And they burn out quickly sometimes. But here's the thing, burnout is not a discipline problem, it's a sustainability problem. And this is not just doing this kind of thing, this is also with your diet, but with your exercise plans, with businesses you want to build, with rebuilding family relationships, any of these things. Discipline is not your issue. It is usually a sustainability issue because the way you go about these kinds of things is not set up for success from the beginning. And you cannot muscle your way through human tendencies and human imperfections. There's just nothing you're going to be able to do to change that. You have to learn how to work with it, not against it. Think about it this way. You do not throw out a good cast iron skillet because it is seasoned. You keep cooking with that seasoning and it keeps getting better, and you keep refining that seasoning and it keeps getting better. Now, if you're a cast iron nerd, you know exactly what I'm talking about. This is why the ones that are 100 years old cook better than the ones that are 10 years old. So we don't need to throw everything out. We don't need to erase who we are. We don't need to beat ourselves up for not being perfect. We need sustainable choices and sustainable systems that we can use to move forward and improve, not erase who we used to be, but improve it. So the title of this is New Year, Same You, But Better. And this is what I mean. The same you, but better is the sustainability part of this. This is keeping the parts of you that already work, because no matter how much you are struggling with things, all of you out there have things about you that already work. They absolutely are already good. Every single one of us has things that's already working. And if you don't know that about yourself, you need to remember to stop beating yourself up so much and being so hypercritical. The world's going to be critical enough of you as it is. Don't add to it. You don't need to tear yourself down. There are plenty of people out there who will try to do that for you. You already have parts of you that work. You just need to upgrade habits that don't. That's a completely different thing than this whole new year, new you. No, new year, same you, but better because you're upgrading the parts of you that aren't serving your purposes the right way just yet. This year is about energy, having more of that, having more consistency, and especially having less chaos around your food. That's really, really important. Now, I need you to hear something really, really clearly. If you're watching this and you're relating to this idea of, yes, better me, I have to better these things. You need to hear me very, very clearly here. Better doesn't mean harder. It means smarter. I'm going to say that again. Better doesn't mean harder. Better means smarter. Just because you're not struggling to muscle your way through this whole discipline horrible thing you have to do that's going to be better for you, that doesn't mean that it's not something that's better. There are sometimes things that are better that can be hard, and we have to work at those things, and that's fine. We work towards being able to do those things and hopefully succeed. And if we fail, we try again. But better does not mean that it's harder all the time. Better just means it's smarter than what you were already doing. So don't judge how much better you are by how much more suffering you have to go through to get there. It's not what better means. which is nice because it gives you permission to do things that work for you that are also simultaneously easy. Or at least support your lifestyle in a way that doesn't make you want to tear your hair out. That's a good thing because that's where sustainability comes from. So I said something about food without chaos. What does food without the whole freak out thing really mean, and what does that look like? Food should support your life, not run it. And this is something that I talk about a lot because I feel like the low-carb community at times can get very focused on their entire identity being about the food that they eat. You are not internally carnivore whoever. And there's nothing wrong with calling yourself, that online, but I'm saying, like, understand your identity is not I'm carnivore this, I'm keto that, I'm whoever. That may be the name of your channel or your profile or the name you use as a handle online or any of these kinds of things. That's fine. But food should support your life, not run your life. Your identity is so much more than just what you put on the plate. So what I'm saying here is that simple rules are going to beat those complicated, self-detrimental, super dogmatic, critical, beat myself over the head plans you can make every single time. So here's a couple of things that I'm doing and that I would encourage each of you to do. Now, none of this is medical advice. I am not a doctor. Even if I was, I wouldn't be your doctor, but I am not a doctor and this is not medical advice. Consult a physician before you do anything. But if it was me, this is what I would be thinking about because this is what I'm currently doing. I focus on protein first. I focus on real ingredients. And I focus on eating enough so I'm not starving. Now, where you want to draw various lines within that, keto or carnivore, dairy-free, I want to reduce artificial sweetener intake, I want to go ketovore, I want to try to get rid of all of the fructose in my diet, even from the little bits of fruit that I was having on a keto diet. I want whatever, okay? You can find all the different lines that you want to draw, and that's fine. Experiment and figure out what makes you feel best. But protein first, real ingredients, whatever you're choosing to eat, and eating enough that you are not starving. Those are very simple things to do. No matter how you want to sort of dish it out with all of those other little individual influences, those things are the foundation. Those are the simple rules that beat the complicated plan for me. If your plan makes you miserable, it is not a plan, it is a punishment, okay? I'm going to say that again because I think this is one that I had to learn the hard way for a while. If your plan makes you miserable, and I'm not talking about I'm struggling to kick a carb craving or I'm trying to change my habits and therefore I tend to want to lean back in this other direction. All of that, yes, that's a real thing, and we all struggle with that at various times in our lives. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying if your plan makes you miserable, you hate it, it's not a plan, it's a punishment, and you're doing it because you're tearing yourself down for not being good enough up to this point. Whether it's conscious or subconscious, that is what it's doing. It's what you are doing. It's probably what you've been conditioned to do by people in your life who have criticized you for whatever, including weight and health and all these things. If your plan makes you miserable, it's not a plan. It's a punishment. But here's the good news. Small habits turn into really big wins. And this is the thing that I think so many people overlook. You do not overhaul and change everything about you at once. This is the whole new year, new you BS that people try to spew. Just change everything about everything you do and use January 1st as the way to do it and stick to your resolutions and you'll have a whole new life. Yeah, it would be really nice if it was that way, but that's not realistic for hardly anybody out there. You do not overhaul and change all of these things at the same time all at once. The best thing you can do is pick one habit, one thing and change that first. So I'm going to have better food at breakfast. I'm not going to eat cereal and toast and all these other kinds. I'm going to have a better breakfast. I'm going to have some eggs. I'm going to have some bacon, maybe some sausage. I'm going to have better breakfast. Every day that I have breakfast, I'm going to have better. Or I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to get rid of a lot of the diet sodas or regular sodas, God forbid, that I'm having. I'm going to stop drinking so much iced coffee and going to Starbucks 4 times a day just because it's down the street. I'm going to start drinking more water. Great. I'm going to cook at home 1 more night a week. Instead of going out to eat 5 nights a week, I'm going to go out 4 nights a week. And then after a few weeks, I can move it down to 3 nights a week. And then after a few more, I'll move 2 nights a week. Cook at home more, right? These are the very simple things that we can do. And consistency of these things beats motivation every time. I've done live streams about this and understanding motivation and dopamine and, the discipline and the self-will, power stuff, like all of these things. You will never be able to outwork the chemical reason for your motivation or the lack thereof, no matter how hard you try. There are going to be days you will be motivated, and there are going to be days you will not. That is a chemical, biological fact of being a human being. You cannot beat your own wiring and biology, but consistency will help you circumvent the issues of the days when your motivation is low. Because if you consistently do things, even if it's not perfect, you don't have to try to find the motivation to be perfect. You just consistently keep pursuing the same goal. And over time, you learn to do it better and better and better, where you don't need the motivation for it. But you have to work your way into that. That is one habit at a time, consistently being targeted. That's how you do it. And when you get that one really under control and it becomes a new habit, you can add the next one. And that's how you rebuild and upgrade your habits. I'm curious, while I'm talking about this, drop it in the chat. Any of you, do you have a small habit out there that you could change that could lead to one of these big wins? Do you want to drink more water? Do you want to cut your carb count in half? Do you want to get rid of the diet soda? Do you want to take away the keto treats? What is the thing? Drop your habit. What is the one habit you could do that you are excited about that you can change about yourself and become the new year, same you, but better person? Think about that and just drop that in the chat. We need to rehearse, we need to prep, and we need to win and repeat. We rehearse our decision, we prep to make that decision easy when the time comes, we win by doing the thing that we meant to do, and we repeat over and over and over and over. And that is how you change your life permanently. Drop it in the chat what kinds of ideas you guys have. Maybe you can help not only me, but a whole group of people out there think about an idea. Oh, I didn't even think about that one. That's a great one. You never know who you might inspire. So let me tell you what I'm doing, or more importantly, what I'm not doing in 2026. I am not falling into the all or nothing thinking, okay? I've never really been this way, but I'm just being more open about the fact that I've never been this way. I am not an all or nothing kind of guy. Am I carnivore? Yes, 95%. Am I low carb? Yes, 95 to 99% of the time. I am not all or nothing. I am not all carnivore or go off the rails. It's not the way it works. I am not all low carb or just eat a standard American diet. Doesn't work that way for me. I am not an all or nothing guy. 95% doing the things I need to do, and the 5 to 10% is where being a human being lives. And sometimes I'm on the road on tour and I can't eat perfectly, or it's a celebration, it's somebody's birthday, and we have things that aren't exactly what I would normally cook. Or, there's 100 different examples I can give you. I am not all or nothing. I will never be all or nothing. And if you are, that's okay. But I'm telling you, I'm not. And I don't think most people are. I think the people who try to pretend that they are that way online are doing just that, and they're pretending. I am not doing guilt. I am not doing the guilt meals of I'm going to punish myself and eat ground beef with no seasoning of any kind on it for a week straight because I can't believe I ate that salad and what's wrong with me. I'm not doing guilt. I'm not asking any of you to ever do that either. What I will say is don't try to start guilting other people online because ain't nobody got time for that. And if you're one of those people, I'm sorry that you don't have any friends, but don't come here and just try to, crap on everybody else's day because you're miserable in your own life. We don't do that here. So no guilt meals and no guilting each other. I don't do that. Also, no chasing perfection. I'm not trying to be perfect this year. I'm trying to be better this year than I was last year, and I'm trying to be more consistent. I am not trying to be perfect because guess what? Spoiler alert, if I try, I will fail. And I hate to tell all of you out there who are dogmatic carnivores that just think I'm crazy for doing things like recipes and stuff, but guess what? This whole chasing perfection thing, if you're trying to chase perfection, guess what? You failed too. You already did. And you're going to again. Welcome to being a human being. None of us is perfect. So no chasing perfection here. Also, no comparing journeys. Please, 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 for the love of all things, please do not compare your results and your journey to somebody else's. Because all of our bodies are going to react a little differently because we are in different places metabolically, health-wise. This is one of the biggest issues with the social media age. When you go online and you go to Facebook and you go to Instagram and you go to YouTube and wherever, you can scroll and find pictures of people who are skinnier than you and stories of people who have lost weight faster than you and just so many things online of all of the things you could compare your journey with and feel like you're coming in short. And a lot of that stuff isn't even real. And even if it is real, it's like, okay, good for that person. That's their life. What does that have to do with me? But we live in an age where we compare ourselves to everything online because we think we have to be like everybody else. And if we don't see the same results in the same time period as someone else, then obviously we're failing and it's not working and I need to tighten the screws and I need to beat myself up and how could I, and I'm such a failure and I'm so fat and it just goes out of control. I watch it and I get messages from people that are going through it almost on a daily basis at this point. No comparing journeys. Your journey doesn't have anything to do with anybody else's. Your journey is simply that. It is your journey. So you make the choices that are best for your body. You do the experiment. You figure out what feels best for you, what works best for you, what is the most sustainable for you. And if somebody else tells you that's wrong because I do blah, 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 you go, don't care. Literally do not care. Shut your face and get out of here. Doesn't matter. Change your own life, not because anybody else said to do it that way, because it works, because it makes you happy, and it keeps you stable, and it keeps you successful. That's what matters in the end. I think what I'm really realizing is in 2026 is like, I've known this, but I'm just expressing it more openly, I guess, is I'm not here to impress the internet. I'm here to feel good in my own skin and to enjoy my own life and to take back my own health. And if somebody doesn't like how I do that, great. Then don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you, as they say, and they can take a hike. So I would encourage each of you to have that same confidence in yourself. Don't try to impress the internet. Try to feel good in your own skin. It's the only skin you're ever going to have, and it's perfect just the way it was made. You just need to work on your health so you feel good. So, as part of all of that, it is my goal to get to my ideal body weight this year, or at least close to it. It has also been so long since I've been at my ideal body weight, I don't actually know what my ideal body weight really even is, because the last time I saw that, I was probably 17 or 18 years old, and I was a very different body shape then because I was just a lot younger than I am now. So I don't really know exactly what my body weight is supposed to be, but I'd like to get somewhere between 200 and 220 pounds. And then I'll reevaluate and I'll see how I feel. So my goal is this year to use my shred protocol, which I'm actually going to talk with my band members about first. Yes, right there, the QR code. Go join the band. I'm going to talk with them about my shred protocol first, and it is, again, not medical advice. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything. It is just the thing that I have found works really well for me, and I've been a little bit lax with it just because I've been doing so much other stuff with the cookbook, and we had the holidays and all this kind of stuff. But I'm going to get back to that, and Ash and I are also in the gym about 3 times a week right now, lifting weights and doing this kind of stuff. So we're starting to take that back, adding in some more physical activity. So that plus my shred protocol, I think it's going to be a good year. I'm doing that. I think last year, something that I did that didn't really work is I was using dairy, cheese, cream, excessive amounts of butter, those kinds of things to hit my dopamine centers, which if you know anything about me being neurodivergent, you'll know that my dopamine is, it's kind of out of whack. It's out of control. That's part of being neurodivergent. Autism and ADHD are really interesting things. But the dairy is not necessarily the problem. It's using too much of it, trying to spike dopamine in an unhealthy way, which then leads to a crash, which leads to cortisol, which leads to holding on to weight or even gaining weight. And it's a whole vicious cycle. So I'm not going dairy-free, but I am being more intentional about where and when and why I use dairy so that I'm not using it as a dopamine trigger. I'm regulating my dopamine and my general just brain regulation in other ways. And then the dopamine that I get from the dairy is just, it's a little bit here and there, and it's for things where it really matters, like if I do a recipe for a special meal or, something like that. Working out, trying to take more time away from technology, put my phone down more. If I'm not working, I try not to be on my phone or my computer. Just connecting with the world around me. Those are some things I'm doing. So I would love to know, what are some things that you guys are doing? What are some of the things you're excited about? What are some habits you can change? I think it would be really cool to see what you guys are up for. So, yeah. I think kind of what this comes down to, guys, is if it feels boring to do this kind of stuff, I think that that's probably good, because boring is sustainable. It means you're probably doing the right stuff. So let's see who's here in the chat. Let's see what's going on. Crystal Carnivore is here. Hello, rolling in late. Good to see you, Crystal. Mark Wood is here. I got in late, but have really loved your recipe cards and really enjoy your channel. Well, thank you, Mark. I'm very glad. So happy you're here. Dennis says, I never listen to the New Year, New Me, and don't make New Year's resolutions. Same here, brother. Same here. Brian says, my goals were set long before the new year. It's great. That is great. I like this. Crystal says, New Year, same me 2.0. That's fantastic. I really enjoy that. And Lisa can't wait till February so that I can get into the gym without having to fight my way in. Sometimes the New Year stuff affects others. Yes, absolutely. I have noticed. So we started the gym before the new year. And since the new year, there are significantly more people in the gym. And I know here within the next few weeks, that's probably all going to die out significantly. But it's pretty busy in there right now. And I wish it wouldn't die out. I wish those people would stick to it. I want to see everybody get healthy. But unfortunately, it's just not the way that usually works with people. So I don't know. We'll see what goes on. But I imagine here in the next few weeks, there will probably be a significant drop-off in the gym. So Brian says, same me, working on consistency. I like that. And Albert says, it's always about consistency and not beating ourselves up. Absolutely. Uncle Charlie is here. Question, are sausage patties from Costco's in a bag carnivore? You know, I haven't actually looked at them. Uncle Charlie says they were good, so maybe I'll have to look at them. I haven't actually looked at them. Here's what I would say about that. Read the ingredients list. Is it strict carnivore? Probably not. Anything like that comes in a bag usually has, at the very least, a little bit of some preservatives, and there might be a tiny bit of dextrose or sugar or something in there. There might be a little bit of a filler, like you just don't know. There might be a little bit of seed oils. When you look at the carb count, is it going to be super, 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 super low? And when you eat it, does it make you feel good? If that's the case, then maybe it doesn't really matter whether it's carnivore enough. This goes back to that thing of, we're not trying to impress people on the internet. I'm not trying to show everybody else how pure of a carnivore I can be. I'm trying to find things that work for my lifestyle, that make me consistent and stable, so that I can continue working towards my health goals without wanting to rip my hair out. So, Uncle Charlie, if you look at them and you go, I think overall I'm pretty good with those ingredients, that doesn't seem to be the big thing that I need to be concerned with right now, then I say giddy on up and enjoy the sausage patties. And if you say they're good, I'll have to go check them out. And the cooked chicken in a bag. Yes, I actually get those. Ash and I use those. We just joined Costco in the last few weeks, and I have gotten a couple of those rotisserie chickens and do a whole bunch of things with them. And they also have like the rotisserie chicken meat already pulled off the bones that you can buy in the bag. But I like getting the chicken on the bones because you can pull all the meat off if you're not going to just eat it as a typical rotisserie chicken. You can pull all that meat off the bones, and then you can take the carcass and you can put it in your pressure cooker or a pot or a slow cooker, and you make bone broth. I'll do a video on that where you can like get several things out of a single Costco rotisserie chicken. It's pretty cool, actually. Crystal is right. Transformation takes time. Lorraine is here, says, I started prioritizing proteins on December 1st, and I'm down 11 pounds. I don't care what my calorie count is. I only care that my protein macro is 100 plus grams of protein. Good for you, Lorraine. That is especially, just looking at your picture, you appear to be female and older than I am. So that is especially important as we get older, and especially for women. So that's fantastic. Good for you. Mark says, I'll have toast, but it's your bread recipe. Yes, that kind of toast I'm down for. That's good stuff. And Mark also says, exercise. Yes, absolutely. Exercise is a good one. Crystal's trying to kick the caffeine. Yeah, me too. So I'm down to, I was drinking like 6 shots of espresso a day. I'm down to 3. I've cut it in half. I'd like to get down to 2 within the next few weeks. We'll see. Mark says, I'm more hunter-gatherer, not against fruit and dairy. It's great. As long as you feel good, that's all that matters. And America One says, only Yeshua is perfect. Yes, absolutely. Jesus, the way, the truth, and the life, my friends. The only one who was ever perfect. Certainly isn't me, so. Let's see. Everyone is just agreeing with not perfect and definitely being human. Debbie is here, says, absolutely. And America One says 200 to 220 sounds good. Yeah, well, I mean, so here's the thing. I'm 6 feet tall, and I have really broad shoulders and a really heavy bone structure. Like, just the bones inside. Like, I have to get extra large bracelets to put on my wrist, not because they're fat, because the bones are that big. I have to get extra large hats because my skull structure is so big that the one-size-fits-all hats, those don't fit me. So, it's I just have a very heavy bone structure. So I don't actually know where, just genetically, is my body's ideal weight. So we'll have to find that out. But hopefully this year we'll figure that out. Debbie says, cookbook, so excited. Yes, cookbook indeed. Juju is here, says, hey, Chris, keep me in your prayers. Got some potential moving information that is not what we wanted. Please pray for peace as I settle it in my soul. Juju, we will absolutely pray for you. I'm sorry to hear that, but we will pray that things work out for you guys and just keep us posted. Teresa says, amen. Yes, only Yeshua is perfect. He will give us power to help make the changes slowly, steadily, and surely. He is patient and long-suffering, and we need to be also with ourselves and with others. Absolutely and amen. Let's see what else we got here. Mariana is here, says, thank you, Chris. I refuse to judge anyone else's journey. I'm doing what I'm doing because it makes me feel better. Reversed diabetes, have more energy and joy. This is how I plan to live the rest of my life. I'll be 69 on Saturday. Happy early birthday. And sure, I too would like to take another 10 pounds off, but I'm content as well. I have so much muscle improvements, it's not even funny. The dairy for me was also my go-to. I stopped it for a while, but I miss it, so I will now add on occasional a little bit. And I think that sounds perfect, Mariana. So good for you, and congrats on just taking back your health and doing so great. That's fantastic, and I'm really glad you're here. Marty is here, says, I'm thinking of getting back to the gym. I love that, Marty. I would encourage you in that, brother. And America One says, eating only after 12 p.m., 3 to 5 times a week, 30-minute boot camp. I like that. Crystal goes to boot camp 5 times a week. That's awesome. It's gotten a bit busy since January 1, waiting for it to be less crowded. Yes. Marion is here, says, don't rip your hair out. It looks fantastic. Love your style. Well, thank you very much. I had to get a haircut about a week ago so that it would kind of look cut, but not too freshly cut for my photo shoot on Sunday that was, we did that. So, yeah, I appreciate that. Dennis says he has a target weight goal, but it's just a number. I too plan on assessing once I get there, and it's just one goal to get my Ys. Absolutely, Dennis. I love that. And you're doing so great, man. I'm so proud of you. Hey, there's Sean Bradley in the house. Says, good evening, all. I drink coffee for safety reasons. Not safe for others if I don't. Listen, brother, I understand. I have decaf iced coffee in here, so I'm trying to go the decaf route from time to time, just to kind of start weaning down away from the caffeine, but I still need my coffee right now. It's awfully good. And Sean says, prayers, Jujubee. Just remember, it's all temporary. Amen. Ann Rutten, how do you get the chicken smell off the Instant Pot seal? I've made chicken broth. Usually the best thing you can do would be to wash it with some vinegar. That's usually the way that I would get smell off of things. I haven't had too much of an issue with that with my Instant Pot. So, although I have the Kosori, I don't actually have an Instant Pot. I have a Kosori pressure cooker, so maybe it's just the difference in the material. I'm not sure. I haven't had too much of an issue with that, but I would suggest maybe using vinegar to wash that. You can even soak it in vinegar, maybe. Crystal loves coffee, but blood pressure doesn't, sadly. Yep, I understand. Unified Racing Channel is here. Just made your pizza last weekend. Not as crispy on the bottom, but dang, it was so good and tastes exactly like pizza. Definitely a learning curve with the egg whites, but stiff peaks were achieved. That's fantastic. And now that you've done it once, it just gets easier to do it again. And each time you do it, you just get a little better and a little better and a little better. So, yeah. And let's see, Uncle Charlie. I actually answered your question already, Uncle Charlie. You can scroll back and you'll see it. I have extra gaskets. I keep one for sweet and one for savory and swap out when and if needed. That's very, very smart. If you had an Instant Pot and you got extra gaskets, swap them out, one for this type and one for that type. It's very, very smart. I love that. Well, cool, guys. I think we're about done here, so I appreciate you guys tuning in. Don't forget to go to the QR code here if you would like to join the private community of the band. I'm going to be releasing a recipe probably tomorrow. Tomorrow or Thursday is going to be the next upload this week, and it's going to be very tasty. So we really have a good time over there. We support each other, and it's a judgment-free zone. You don't have to be a carnivore. You don't even have to be keto or low carb. You're a vegan or high carb or any of that stuff. If you want to join over there, as long as you're nice, you're cool, and you're supportive, you're welcome to join. You don't have to be anything to be a part of things over there. We're just about supporting each other. I just happen to be low carb, as do all of the people, for the most part, that I know of that are in there. And we talk about low carb stuff because I do believe that is the proper human diet. But even if you don't totally agree with me, if for whatever reason you still want to be a part of it, you can. So scan that, come over and hang out with us. Brian says, everyone have a great night. Unified Racing Channel says, appreciate you, my friend. Guys, I love all of you. We have a great video coming out Saturday. This is a totally different style, but I think it's going to be fun. It was a lot of fun to make, and it tasted fantastic. So Be ready for that Saturday morning, 10:45 a.m. Central Time. That'll go live. And in the meantime, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Remember, new year, but same you, but better. Think about all of those things and let me know if you're watching the replay what you're going to do, what your habits are, what's your idea you can change to be a better you. I appreciate you guys. We love all of you. Have a great rest of your night. This is Chris Cook in Nashville. Remember to eat your meat, love your life, and we'll see you here in the kitchen for more lives, Backstage with Chris, more recipes, all kinds of things. Guys, have a great rest of your day and rest of your January, and we'll see you soon. Bye, y'all.